Hello, I'm the Arizona Silverback. Let's talk about it. Today I want to talk a little bit about jiu-jitsu, okay? And not just jiu-jitsu in general. This is a double split question and then I'm going to explain myself, okay? So the first thing I want to know is what made you want to get into jiu-jitsu? The second thing I'm going to ask you is if you're not in jiu-jitsu, why not? Whether it's finding a gym or COVID or whatever it is, I want the comments. So definitely this is going to be an interactive video and I'm gonna communicate with whoever posts. So I got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when I was 15. The reason I got into it was because I was actually a wrestler. I've wrestled since I was a kid. I found a lot of things in wrestling that helped me. I didn't have a dad. He wasn't around. So, and my mom, she wasn't always there for me. You know, she had problems with drinking and drugs. So what I did is I looked for a family setting and I got into wrestling and I loved it. I loved what it had to offer. It had a family environment. It gave me people to talk to, and most of all, it gave me an outlet. Well, as I got older, things got a little worse. My mom went to prison and I ended up homeless. So I was looking for more. I quit school. I started working construction. The highest grade I completed was 9th grade. And going into 10th, I just didn't have it in me anymore. So I was going around, I was looking, and I found jiu-jitsu. Now, at first, I didn't really like it. I thought it was kind of like, it was counter wrestling, and I was a wrestler. So I was doing it because it was a grappling martial art, and I was a wrestler. And I was like, okay, this isn't the same. I'll pin somebody, I'll take people down, I'll do all this stuff, and all of a sudden they'll submit me. And I do it again and again and again. And I took the wrestling mindset in there too. As I was 100% balls to the wall. I was coming at you. I was going to try to win at all costs. But in my mind, a win was a little different. So like in my mind, a win was just holding you down. And I was looking for the outlet as well. I really, really enjoyed the outlet. Well, it took a couple years. I was training other martial arts. You know, I did Western kickboxing and I did some boxing, you know, and I started putting it all together and I really enjoyed myself. I signed up for a cage fight. You know, I told everybody, like, you know, I'm a striker that can wrestle. And after a while, I started taking it real serious. I was like, you know, I want to be one of the best strikers in the world and I want to do MMA. And a coach who's very intelligent told me, he's like, if you're going to be amazing on your feet, you have to be amazing on the ground too, because nobody in the right mind will ever stand and bang with you on your feet. Well, this made a lot of sense to me. It's like, you know what, that's true. If I knew you were a great striker, the first thing I'm going to do is take you down, and I'm going to pummel you. So I started doing jiu-jitsu, and I did no-gi first. So I did a total of 7 years no-gi. And when I learned a lot of the submissions. I used my wrestling, and that's why I like no-gi more. And I did a couple gi tournaments just to do them, and I won. But I still didn't like the gi. It wasn't until, you know, I'm 7 years in, I have 15 years of wrestling experience, and people would say, oh, you're just a white belt. And that would bother me. I'd be like, yeah, I am a white belt, but I am a very experienced white belt. At the time, matter of fact, I taught my own classes. I had my own students, and we were doing really well. But I wanted the recognition that was associated with training, so I put a gi on. Man, was that life-changing. I've made some of the best friends I've ever had training gi jiu-jitsu. Where no gi for me was more my young man thing, but as I started getting older and beat up, and I've had injuries from broken everything to tore everything. When I got in the gi, I was able to slow it down, and I really started learning jiu-jitsu as a pure form. Before, I always used my wrestling kind of as my background. When I put the gi on, they wouldn't promote me until I like slowed it down and learned jiu-jitsu. And at this point in time, I realized jiu-jitsu was different. So it's not so much about beating people, it's just about getting better. So originally I joined it just because I wanted people to grapple with. I wanted some camaraderie. I wanted a family. Well, I found all that, and as I progressed, so this is why I've stayed in jiu-jitsu, is because I have people who are like-minded, who care, and I care about them too, man. I care about my students more than they're like my brothers, my sisters, they're those kids, man. I love them. They are a part of everything that I am. You know, they come to my school, they wear my patch. Some of them got the tattoos on it. It's an amazing thing. But I personally stayed because I love what it does for me. You know, it's a release. It helps me be me. You know, without jiu-jitsu, especially this last year with COVID, man, it's been crazy. You know, I had no release. I had gained, 40 or 50 pounds just sitting, waiting for this to pass. I was trying to be responsible like everybody else. I closed the school. I got no help, but I saw everybody moving around, so I started trying to get active again. And in December, I really took it serious with the birth of my 6th kid. So I've refound myself, but man, without jiu-jitsu, just for a couple days, I was a bit of a nutcase. You know, I'd you know, a couple months, I wasn't even the same person. So I found that the reason now I do jiu-jitsu helps me be me. I'm a better father, a better husband, I'm a better coach, a better team member. Jiu-jitsu helps me to be a better person. So that's why I've stayed with it. And what I want you to know too is, like, the reason you start isn't the reason you stay. Why did you start jiu-jitsu? Why are you currently in jiu-jitsu? The reason I started was I was just looking for a place to kind of hang out and get some grappling in, because I loved wrestling. And some people, they're told me they want to get in shape. They're looking to learn how to protect themselves. They really got nothing else to do. They're curious. They watch the UFC and they want to know more about it. Well, that's the beginning. As you progress, you need to learn more and more reasons why you stay. Or you learn new reasons about yourself why you stay. As the belt grows, so I've learned at each belt, I kind of developed into a different person. So like the blue belt, you know, I held myself to a different standard. I tried to emulate that standard in my life, and I got my purple belt, and I changed even more, my brown belt even more, and my black belt. It was almost a game changer for me. Now, if you're thinking about doing jiu-jitsu, do it. If you need help, I'll actually post a video in the next couple days on how to find a school, how to make sure it's a good school, make sure the lineage is correct. I'll teach you how to like go about the process, and I'll also, after that, we'll talk a little bit about like the different types of jiu-jitsu that are out there, because there's more than one. But if you're thinking about doing it, just do it. I can't stress that enough. It's a life-changing thing, but it is, in order to build a hammer, you need an anvil and a hammer. It's gonna be something that breaks you a little bit that you can build with later on. It's hard, but you're gonna have people there to pick you up, support you. And if there's not that kind of people in that gym, it's the wrong gym, and we'll find the right one for you. If you're thinking about quitting, remember why you got into it, and also remember that you grow over the years, and that things change for you. Maybe find another reason to be there. It doesn't have to be the same reason you started, but it's something that you're gonna want to look into. I promise you it'll pay off once you're a black belt or a brown belt. You know, you learn yourself along the way, and without it, man, people really lose themselves. But why you started jiu-jitsu? I would also like to know any questions or concerns you have about jiu-jitsu, and we maybe address it in a video. And finally, if you're thinking about doing it, I want to know why you're thinking about doing it. And also, if you kind of let me know the area you're in, I could try to help you find a gym. Guys, that's all I have today. I'm the Arizona Silverback, and you're part of my nation. We'll see you guys next time.